Hey athletes, it's Josh and Cole, and this is the Coaches Collab podcast. So did you celebrate Halloween?
No.
No? Not even with a little candy?
No.
What? I mean,
Not like intentionally. Though.
Yeah?
It's not like, oh, I'm super hardcore. I'm not gonna have any candy, because I would normally have candy on any day that I wanted. But no candy. Katie and I were planning on going to a movie, but we saw the new Halloween last week.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
It was alright.
Michael Myers is back.
Yeah, it was decent.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of like, compared to most of the scary movies now, like, it was a little corny.
Pretty lame, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they're paying homage to Michael Myers, so.
Right.
But, so yeah, we were gonna go see a movie. I was looking at showtimes, and I'm like, none of these movies are like, there's no good scary movies out right now,
No.
which is weird.
It's Halloween.
Because it's Halloween.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's because of Halloween, the movie.
Right.
That no one else wanted
to
release.
compete with that.
Right.
But no, so I went to Coburn's, grabbed 4 things of sushi. We had some sushi at home, and then we just watched TV. And
See, I'm disappointed in myself. I'm so because
why is that?
Halloween is my shit. I am a
Really?
candy sugar freak.
Yeah?
Yeah, the whole month of October I've been telling all my athletes that I was going to try to purposefully get fat. And I was just going to like pound all the candy I wanted, all the pizza I wanted. Well, apparently I don't want a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I had...
You're a jerk, you know?
Why?
Because some people do that, they get so fat. They put like 15 pounds on in a month easy.
But they don't
And
weight
Josh
lift
is
5
over
days
here,
a week. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
going to really try and get fat.
Right.
Just
Well,
like,
I
dude.
Sadly, I didn't try very hard. The first few days I was going hard. I'm like, yeah. Then I got so sick of it. I was just like,
feel
fuck
like
this.
crap.
Right. And then when I feel like crap, I train like crap, and I'm like, I sleep like crap. But no, yesterday, my whole goal, so I always work split shift, so I work in the morning and evening.
Yep.
And my thought was, okay, after my morning shift, I'll work out, I'll go to Coburn's or Walmart and just buy a fucking 80-pack or, whatever.
Right.
As much candy as I can.
Just a ton.
Exactly. And then my thought was to come back to the gym, and while I'm teaching these classes, just eating it. Just pissing everybody off. Like, that's fucking right. This is me, last day of fucking October. Here I go.
Just going hard.
I had one piece of candy, and it wasn't because I bought it. One of the athletes showed up, and funny, so this is the 5:30 class. At 4:30, I said, I thought for sure some of my athletes would bring me candy.
Trying to, like, your guilt trip.
Right, trying to guilt trip them, like, go get me some, bitch.
Right.
Sure enough, one of the oldest athletes, he drives bus, so he comes in, and he's like, you want a Kit Kat? And it was just one of those mini 2-piece Kit Kat, and that's all the candy I had. That's terrible.
Wow. We kind of gotta step up our holiday, our Halloween game.
Thanksgiving's gonna be real.
Yeah.
That's a weightlifter's paradise, is Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
But now with the No Nonsense November, I've gotten so much shit for that already.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, so last year, the Complete Athlete did No Nonsense November, and last year it was actually our first challenge that we did, I believe.
So it's been right about a year since
it's been a year since we've launched the website.
Okay.
So
congratulations, that's awesome, man.
It's not bad. Before that, I had the Facebook group already, and I was putting out articles and all the. I didn't have videos yet, but any articles, any thoughts I had, I would just write it out.
Yep.
And then Shelby came up with the idea of why don't we put it on a website?
Right.
So yeah, it's been a year, but. Last November, it was simply, no junk food at all.
Right.
Like, all right, bitches, we're going to start off strong. We had maybe a dozen of the athletes pledge that they were going to do it. Mm-hmm. One did it. So, I mean, it was like a little too strong.
Yeah.
So this last month in October, it was, so over the summer, we got really busy. So, gym and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of stopped doing the monthly challenge because I'm like, God, we have so many things to worry about right now. The athletes are barely even coming. We'll start them back up in October.
Yeah.
So we did the 1 vegetable, 1 protein, 8 extra ounces of water a day, just to try to get them set. The funny thing, so I had almost 30 people pledge they were going to do that. And so far, because I'll keep asking some of the athletes I'll see today, I've had 2 that actually followed through. Because, I mean, think of it this way. An 8-ounce glass of water is, less water than you're drinking out of your coffee mug.
Right.
An extra serving of protein and a little bit of vegetable. I mean,
Yeah.
It's nothing.
It's nothing.
Because the vegetable can
You
be
almost
8 carrots.
right. It was almost like so easy that
Yep.
people didn't really take it seriously. So you almost need like a intermediate
Yeah.
between.
Well, and what was in well, no. So I actually did it on purpose because I knew so many people weren't gonna do it.
Right.
They're
Okay.
gonna,
so
you know what I'm
had
saying?
Kind of a teaching tool.
For
to say,
sure.
yeah.
And so in my class this morning, I brought it up. So I had 9 this morning, and I think 7 of them pledged, and one of those actually did it.
Yeah.
One of the 7.
So you just guilt tripped.
Oh, so
all those
here in
too.
front of the class, I'm like, okay, guys, so how hard is it to add 8 ounces of water?
Yeah.
Well, it's not. How hard is it to have a vegetable? It's not. Protein? It's not. The hardest thing is that you guys didn't plan ahead,
Right.
right? And
well,
then,
and in order to do that, you almost have to track what you're eating already.
and again, the whole point was just, even if it's a couple beef sticks or
Right,
some
yeah,
cheese, or,
it's-
I don't really give a shit what you think is protein.
Yeah.
Even, so many people think that peanut butter is a protein.
Don't even give me
Even if
started,
you
dude.
just had peanut butter, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was really interesting to see how many people weren't able to do it, and that's where the video yesterday came out. And I said, an excuse is just a mask of weakness. You're
Right.
just weak. You just didn't plan ahead. You didn't prepare.
Yeah.
Nothing. So
You didn't
that,
make it a priority.
exactly. So that's and they got to see that. They're like, holy cow! It really wasn't that hard of an idea.
Right.
But obviously, something in their life, maybe they're not consistently grocery shopping, which a lot of their problem is.
Yeah.
So I always
That's an
grocery
issue
shop
for me.
every Sunday.
That's an issue for me.
Oh, yeah?
That I've been trying to get better at is, because I've been super busy lately. So my days off, I'm like,
Fuck,
I'm
yeah.
like, dude, I deserve a day off.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna really just chill.
Right.
But then, I don't have food, and then I can't make my lunch for the next week, and then so the last 2 weeks I've gone on Sunday, and I told Katie, I'm like, we just need to start doing this every single weekend. Just go grocery
Right.
shopping. It's not going to be a huge haul, but at least
No.
we have the essentials for every week, so that
Yeah,
we can,
$50.
right? Because if I know, say I'm on my way home from the gym, I'm like, shoot, I don't have any food at home.
Right.
Guess where I'm stopping on the way home?
Wherever it's convenient.
Exactly. And I have a Wendy's, Subway, and McDonald's.
Oh, yeah,
right by my apartment.
You're right.
So
That's terrible. Well, I've got Burger King,
Yep.
and Cold Stone, right?
Yeah.
But what's nice is it is right next to Coburn's.
Mhm.
So actually, throughout the month, what I'm going to be doing is taking pictures of, let me get back to it. So November, they have two options. One option is you got to get 16 workouts in the
Yep.
30 days of November.
Okay.
And those workouts can be anything from you actually go to the gym, maybe take one of my classes, or just go on a walk. Where
right.
you,
So that's what 4 days a week. That's
yeah,
not,
4 days a week.
That's not terrible.
No, it's not bad at all. It's every other day is
Yep.
what my thought was. And then my hope was they would do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Sunday, maybe they're doing some plank at home or a
Right.
walk or
something simple.
yeah, it doesn't have to be a hard ass workout. It's just you purposefully did a little activity.
Right.
But for a lot of the athletes, they've been consistently working out twice a week. And twice a week is great for maintaining
Right.
your weight, especially weight loss.
Yep.
You need that 3 and 4th time to actually make a change.
Yeah.
So even if it is just they purposefully go to Walmart and walk the whole store one extra time, that's going to take 10 minutes. Great.
Yep.
Something simple. And then the other one, which is a little harder for some, only 2 cheat days. But they can be cheat days.
Right.
Like November is all about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
If you have 3 Thanksgivings, sorry. But but I'm hoping that, so a lot of times when people do the once a week cheat meal or once a week cheat day, they can actually eat all of the calories that they lost throughout the week.
Oh, yeah.
So they can actually have a net 0 loss every week.
Right, and then they're complaining, oh, I don't know
Exactly.
why I'm not losing weight. It's like, well,
But their cheat
you're
day was-
taking in
yeah.
15,000
On
calories
the one
your
day, right? Yeah. I'm getting Cold Stone and
Yeah.
donuts and okay, you moron. But this is actually gonna, I'm hoping, make them go at least 2 weeks without. Because, and I try to tell my athletes all the time that you can't assume every Sunday you get a cheat meal.
Right.
Because if Friday rolls around and you have a wedding,
Yeah.
you're gonna cheat.
You
but
gotta
then
adjust.
exactly Sunday comes around, you're gonna cheat again because that's
Yeah.
your cheat day. So
That's a good idea. Setting
Right.
an allotted cheat days for the month.
yeah.
Not just letting it go on a certain day, because then you can adjust. Like
right,
that.
and so let's say July is usually a good month. There's usually 5 full weeks in July or something
Yep.
like that. I usually tell people you get 3 cheat meals in July. So that means you have to go sometimes 14 days without. And to some people, that almost kills them.
Yeah.
Now, again, all month, what I'll be doing is at least once a week, I want to take a picture of something that I deem not a cheat. So there's companies like Lily's Chocolate, where it's not really that bad for you.
Right.
I mean, if you eat 10 bars, it is. But
Yeah.
if you have a little to get you through the day, fine. A piece of dark chocolate, that's not a cheat to me.
Right.
Frozen Cool Whip, again, in moderation. You let it melt a little bit. It kind of tastes like ice cream.
Yeah.
That's not a cheat to me because you're taking the step. You realize you have a craving for something, and then you're taking a step. Okay, I want ice cream, but I'm gonna have Cool Whip, and it's gonna be good enough.
Right.
You know.
So I tracked food and everything for like 2 years. I don't currently do it, but I was kind of going the whole if it fits your macros route. And so there's 2 mindsets that I see when it comes to diet, or 2 types of people. So there's a type of person who almost needs restriction and they need to be on a strict diet because they could easily fall off the wagon and go nuts. So like sometimes there's those people who, if you do say, hey, you can have a little chocolate, boom, they get that taste of chocolate and it's freaking off to the races.
They pound it.
Yeah. But then for me, when I did the If It Fits Your Macros, it's kind of, so for people who don't know, it's If It Fits Your Macros, you get a set amount of calories broken down into carbs, fat, and protein for your day, and you have to hit those numbers every day. And they say that it doesn't matter how you hit those numbers as long as you hit those numbers. So if you want to use all of your carbs by eating Pop-Tarts, but then you got to get your...
crazy how Pop-Tarts became the face of...
Yeah, for sure.
Right, everybody eats Pop-Tarts on If It Fits Your Macros.
But then you got to realize, okay, so 2 Pop-Tarts is 72 carbs. If you have 200 carbs, then you're kind of screwed the rest of the day because carbs are almost in everything.
Right, exactly.
So you got to really allocate when you get your protein or fat, that there's not a ton of carbs in that too. But see, there's sometimes, because there'd be times where I'm like, hey, I know I'm going to go out to eat with my family tonight, so during the beginning part of the day I'm going to eat less, and I'm going to eat, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I can save, either I'll save a lot of fat if I'm, going to want a big cheeseburger or whatever.
Or something,
So I'll save a lot for the end of the day so that I don't go over.
Right,
What's kind of your opinion on that?
So I actually want to say something first. I don't remember the Joe Rogan podcast, but one of his guests talked about the difference between being a baker and a chef. A baker follows the ingredients exactly.
I remember
right? And then the chef can kind of play with it.
Yep.
So some of my athletes, they do really well with, here's how many calories you need, go for it. This is exactly what you get. Great.
Like a food list.
Kind of. Yeah.
Where people get like the shopping lists.
Yeah, I give them the shopping list.
Yeah.
I do so a lot of people are like, well, just tell me what you want me to eat every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I'm like, I wish I could do that for you, but I'm not a dietitian.
Right.
I don't have a PhD. I can't just say this is exactly what you need. Plus, everybody has their own tastes. Everybody has cravings at different times.
Everyone
Some people's
has
Tuesdays
their own
are tough.
requirements for
Exactly.
For their vitamins and minerals and stuff.
Yeah, and if you work late every Wednesday and you always crave pizza, you're not going to stick to it. So I usually treat everybody like a chef in some way, shape, or form. Whether you're making ramen noodles or you're making some gourmet meal.
Yep.
But so usually what I do, most of the athletes are, at least most of my athletes are either performance-based or aesthetic-based, right?
Yep.
So the performance-based ones, I can tell them, I want you to eat these things because it's going to help increase your 1 rep max.
Right.
And they get that, they understand that, and they're like, okay, so the more of the things off of this list I eat, I'm going to get a higher and higher 1 rep max. Great, cool. The other ones, all my weight loss athletes, most 85% of them are mothers, are women.
Yep.
And they're mid-30s to up to 60 years old. That's kind of where the range is right now. So some of them are premenopausal and postmenopausal, but most of them are post-kids.
Yep.
So they're such a hectic lifestyle.
Yeah, always running.
Yeah, so I always treat them not really if it fits your macros, but it's let's just pull processed foods out of your life the most we can. And for a lot of them, that's going to help them lose at least 20 pounds.
Right, give them some of those basic guidelines, like
Right.
try not to drink your calories or
Yeah.
take out processed foods.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of people who aren't aware, like they might be doing a ton of that, and then just making that one change can be very drastic and help them out a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people, if you were to ask them how many calories they eat, they're going to be off by 10 to 20%.
Yeah.
In the bad. So
Right.
I only eat 2,000. You actually eat 2,400 calories or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
And people are constantly overestimating, and it's because of processed foods.
Absolutely.
And
'Cause-
whole foods prevent that. Well,
Yeah.
help prevent that.
Because, I mean, processed foods, they're so calorie dense. Because, well, they want them to taste good, so they throw extra sugar in
Right.
there or fat, so they can taste really good to us, so we buy more and so that they make money. But the whole foods, they're a little less calorie dense, so the more you eat, it's not going to be as much calories.
Right,
So that's
yeah.
why, you're going to get full, but you're not going to have as much as if you had the processed foods.
Right.
So.
I usually tell people, so imagine a bag of chips. Let's just say basic Lay's potato chips.
Okay.
The whole family-sized bag is thousands of calories. Let's say it's 2,000 calories. So 2,000 calories, if you were to take
Which
all
I
this...
could crush one of those.
Oh, for
bags
sure, right?
Easy.
Everybody can.
Yes.
If you took, especially if you have something sweet right next to it, you can just keep going.
Yeah.
If you took all those chips and crushed them down and flattened them out, it'd be about the size of a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Right?
Isn't that nuts?
Right, or a small notebook, let's
Yep.
just say. Okay,
Yep.
so it's a notebook. 2,000 calories. Now, if you ate 2,000 calories worth of steak, chicken, rice, spinach, it would take up the size of a table.
Yeah, that's a huge
Exactly.
amount of food. Yeah.
So I always tell my athletes, eat foods that are bigger volume
Right.
than calorie dense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I mean, and that's why vegetables play a big role too, because they're voluminous and they have almost no calories.
Right.
So you can still feel satiated, feel full,
Right.
but not have a ton of calories in your system.
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't realize is most of the time when you're having a craving, it's because you're missing something.
Yes.
Right? So if you're missing fiber, that means that your intestines just aren't filled enough where they'll either dry out, there's something going on. Maybe if there's no fiber in there, now bacteria is starting to creep up from your large intestine to your small intestine and feeding off the sugars. And so you'll start to get cravings to try to push that off. And again, if you're eating that bag of potato chips, it'll satisfy you for 5 seconds. But again, there's not enough stuff to it. There's not
Right.
enough fiber to it. There's not enough volume to it to actually fill you up.
Yeah.
So as soon as it gets out of your stomach, you're hungry again. And that's how people can eat 10,000 calories every day.
Yeah.
That's
It
bizarre.
Really, yeah, it can get out of hand really
Oh,
quick.
yeah.
Especially what I found is eating in front of a screen, whether that be the phone or the TV. Like you just shoveling that shit.
Because
in
you're
your
not paying
mouth.
attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you don't. Then, like I said, I've eaten a bag of chips, and then I just open it up, and all of a sudden I'm feeling the bottom of the bag with my
Right.
hand. I'm like, holy crap, what
Right.
just happened?
So this is so sad, but this is what works for a lot of my athletes. So buy the king size biggest bag you can possibly get of chips, bring it into your house, fine. But let's say you're in front of a screen. If you bring the bag with you, you'll eat the whole thing.
Put it in some Tupperware. or
Well,
something.
no. Just put it in a bowl and put the bag
Right,
away.
yeah.
Sit down on the couch and start eating.
Yep.
When it's gone, you're way less likely to get back
Yeah,
up because people
absolutely.
are so lazy, right? Especially
Use the laziness for your
for
advantage.
sure, exactly. So I usually tell people, okay, if you're going to have chips, at least put it into a bowl, put the bag away. And I'm hoping that you don't have a setup like I do in my apartment where the
It's all
kitchen
open.
connects to the living room.
Yeah.
So we usually put our junk food in the closet in Courtney's room. So it's, 20 feet away.
Yeah.
And if I run out, I'm not going to go get any more because
Right.
I'm lazy. Especially when you eat that shitty food, it makes you more sluggish. So you're even less likely to get up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
man,
a small trick, but it
Well,
works.
It's crazy because we have all these cravings and all this stuff that our body is telling us to do, and you almost have to trick it
Yeah.
because of all these processed foods that our body isn't used to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. Just in the past, it's been what, like 50 years since these processed foods
Oh,
have really
yeah,
become
if
prominent.
that. Yeah.
And you know, it's just our body hasn't adapted to it, or they don't. It doesn't know what's happening when you throw all this
Right.
calorie dense, you know.
Easy to digest.
Yeah, super
quick.
easy. That's
Yeah.
the thing too. Is so when you eat a steak, what are you getting? Maybe 70% of the calorie because it's harder.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Whereas if you
it
have
costs
something-
so much energy to digest that food.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I see
And-
where you're going.
And then if you eat a bowl of cereal,
Yeah,
all of that is getting
yeah. If you
digested,
eat 2,000
shoved
calories
right
of
into your-
steak or 2,000 calories of cereal, you're gonna absorb almost all 2,000 calories of that cereal.
Yep.
You're gonna absorb that steak, but again, like you said, it's 30% of that energy is gonna be used just to digest it.
Yep, exactly.
And so billions of dollars, and I believe it's Frito-Lay, and if it's not, don't come after me. I think it's Frito-Lay, so Doritos, Lay's, right?
Yep.
So, and if it's not them, some company has done this. Have spent millions, if not billions of dollars on psychological tests where they figure out exactly how the texture of the chip needs to be, the crunch of the chip so that it gives you the most pleasure.
That's
So,
nuts.
you know, you could probably think of your favorite chip.
Yeah.
Right? There's a reason it's your favorite chip.
Nacho cheese Doritos.
There you
man.
go. There's a certain crunch to it.
Yep.
There's a certain size to it. There's a certain texture, taste, everything. It's also why Oreos are so addictive. So with Oreos, the trick with them is it's something really sweet,
Yeah.
but they put salt with it,
Yeah.
right? So
Yep.
you have something sweet and salty, and it
Right.
actually neutralizes your taste buds. So there isn't too much sweet, there isn't too much salt, so it's neutral, and you can just keep going. That's why eating contests.
They are sick bastards.
Oh, right,
dude.
but
Just
eating
trying to get
contests.
us fat, man.
Oh, right. Well, if they can get us to eat more than one Oreo,
Right.
we'll buy more
Dude,
Oreos.
I could throw down a sleeve.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
The whole family size double stuff all day. But anyway, at an eating contest, so like a hot dog eating contest, so there's a reason they have lemonade to their side. Because as they're eating that really salty hot dog and that
Yep.
bread, when they dip it into that lemonade, it neutralizes it and they can just keep shoveling.
That's
because
interesting.
their body doesn't get full.
Right.
Because you're counteracting that full feeling.
Right.
And that's what Sun Chips do. That's what Oreos are doing. That's what a lot of the junk food does. They put
crazy.
there's a reason Salisbury steak TV dinners have so much salt. It's not just to preserve the meat, but again, it's to counteract that sauce that they use so
Yep.
that you're still
Yeah, the
hungry when you're
barbecue,
done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's one thing too. Is a lot of people don't realize how much sugar is in barbecue sauce.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Not ours.
No.
No, I've never shown you those. So, I just turned on my hand thing. Barbecue sauce. That's my callus remover.
Oh really?
Yeah, got a callus remover. So I got this sugar-free barbecue sauce that we get at Walmart.
How is it?
It tastes amazing. There's
Really?
hickory, there's honey, there's original.
Ooh,
And I think
10
it might-
calories too.
Yeah,
Wow.
so they use dried fruit, I believe, to sweeten it, rather than grape preserves or
Right.
whatever other companies are using.
Yeah.
But this Pit Boss one, we love it. We got it back when we were doing keto 2 years ago,
Yeah.
just because we needed something on our meat sometimes.
Yeah. So this is what G. Hughes Smokehouse sugar-free barbecue
Yep.
sauce.
On any of our food guides on The Complete Athlete, we reference those.
Yeah.
So you can pick one of those up.
Have you ever seen those? I forget what the company's called, but the calorie-free stuff.
Oh yes, Walden Farms.
Yeah, Walden Farms.
Yes, I have.
So what?
Some of it's good, some of it's bad.
Right, and I've had both, but I'm like, as I'm putting it on, I'm like, what sorcery is this?
Right. So
Like,
that's
how
funny that
is-
you say sorcery.
Yeah, because how could it be 0 calories?
Yeah, one of the athletes I've helped over the years, he used to weigh 465 pounds. Now he's
Wow.
down to like 220, 230 somewhere.
What?
Yeah. He does a
Holy
lot of the
smokes.
group training with me.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, he introduced me to Walden Farms,
Mhm.
and he calls it alien technology. Because it's calorie-free condiments, it's calorie-free coffee creamers,
Yeah.
marshmallow sauce, there's caramel,
They got
butterscotch,
syrup,
yeah,
yeah.
everything. Salad dressings, there's ranch dipping. Courtney's favorite is the chipotle mayo because there's no
Oh.
fat to it. So it's 100% artificial.
Right,
100%.
which is like, okay, so what else? You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
feel like there's always a give and take. with
For
it.
sure. So So Walden, and this is how I interpret it. I don't know if this is true, but this is what I'm going to say. You take these calorie-free condiments so that you can lose the weight initially,
Right.
and then you'll phase them out so that eventually they're gone.
Right.
Because I gotta believe, for how artificial they are, it can't be good for you.
It can't be.
It can't be. I'm not saying cancer. I'm not saying anything like that.
Right.
But there's got to be some bad that comes with
Yeah.
it. Some of it tastes good.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of their ranch. I love their coffee creamer, but the problem is a coffee creamer the size of this kombucha.
Isn't like all of it really expensive?
It's really expensive.
Yeah.
Like their ketchup would be $5 for a small bottle.
Right.
Yeah, so like if you were to compare it to a Heinz bottle, the smallest Heinz bottle you can find, that would be like $1, and for them it's
Right.
$5. Because
Yeah.
again, so if for 6 months you have to cough up a few extra bucks so you can lose the 30 pounds or
Yeah.
50 pounds, fine. But
Yeah, I see. So I was thinking about like for bodybuilders getting really close to competition if they, if they're just having, the chicken breast and rice.
Oh, yeah.
And like they're on like no calories
Right.
and they're so sick of that chicken breast and they just sprinkle some of this Walden Farms on there to get it so they can choke it down.
right.
But
Mrs. Dash is usually what they go with.
Yeah.
Salt-free, because Walden
Yep.
Farms has a lot of salt in it.
right.
But if you, for whatever reason, if you decided you wanted to cut, at the end for a powerlifting meet, which would be stupid, I could see definitely going Walden Farms. I don't know. So again, with a bodybuilder, I think it'll cause bloating.
Yeah, I
You know?
think so. I've heard
It's so
a couple different, and keep in mind neither of us are bodybuilders, so
Right.
we're kind of talking out of our ass here. But I've heard two different trains of thought. Some people keep sodium in until pretty late.
Yes,
and then
yeah,
other
yeah.
people pull it really early so they
Yeah.
can get really dry and really,
Right.
really lean. So, and again, I don't know
So
why.
on staff, the staff I work with, one guy is a professional bodybuilder, and Kevin Coots.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kevin's
So
the man. I love him.
his philosophy is you hold off as long as you can with cutting salt because your performance will drop so much.
Right.
So, let's say, you can get more dry and more lean looking, but you've lost an extra 5 pounds of muscle because you
Yeah.
just couldn't keep your performance
You
up.
can, yeah.
So-
you couldn't perform in the
Yeah,
gym and maintain
he would
that muscle
prefer
mass.
you have a little bit more water on you, but you're way bigger.
Right.
Then you just look lean as shit.
Right, that makes sense.
Right, because you're not trying to go out there to be the skinniest guy out there.
No,
You're trying to
no.
be the biggest badass you can,
Right.
or proportionate, or whatever division you're in.
Yeah.
But man, even fighters, they only cut their salt, 5 to 8 days out. I think it's maybe 8 days they'll start cutting it. We used to have Derek on staff, and that's what he would do. Is about 7 days out he would start. But it's not like he just goes 0.
Right.
He
Tapers it down.
Salt ramps up for a week and then starts
Yeah.
dropping it off.
Yep. Yeah, so for powerlifting, a lot of times we do water loading.
Yeah.
So because the difference between powerlifting is we only have a 2-hour weigh-in before the meet starts. So you can't really do drastic dehydration or cutting because then your performance will suffer because it's only 2 hours apart.
Right.
Whereas for most fights and some other powerlifting federations, it's a 24-hour weigh-in.
Right.
So you have that larger window so that you can replenish everything.
Yeah, in the past, in the UFC, they used to use IV bags
Yep.
to try to replenish all that.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's how sickly they would get. They needed an IV bag
Well, sometimes their coaches have to carry them up on stage to get
Yeah.
on the scale. That's
because
how
they're
bad-
just so weak.
Yeah. But anyway, so we'll do a water load, which basically, starting 4 days out from the meet, you'll have, for 2 days, you'll drink 1.5 gallons of water. For the next 2 days, so it'll be 5 days out. So
Yep.
for the first 2 days, 1.5 gallons of water. Next 2 days, 2 gallons of water each day.
Yeah.
And then the last day you cut it off. So basically, you're kind of telling you're taking in all these liquids, so your body's excreting it very fast. And so it's once you get to the point, it's hard to keep the water in you actually.
Yeah.
Because your sodium level stays the same. It almost washes you out
Right, yeah,
of
yeah.
sodium because it's just flushing everything. So that last day when you cut the 2 gallons, you can still sip on stuff.
Yeah,
but-
like 32 ounces in 24 hours or
right.
something.
You're gonna. People lose 5-6 pounds that day just because they lower all the way up, and then your body's still in excretion mode. So it's like, we have all this water, we need to get rid of it, and then you stop the intake. So you're excreting all of it, and then your intake is a lot lower, so then you lose a lot of weight.
Right.
And that way, it's because we refrain from cutting sodium as much as possible.
Right.
So that when we rehydrate, there's still some sodium in there, so that you can actually hold on to the water. And we'll also throw a bunch of sodium in.
Right, otherwise you'll cramp up.
Right,
Yeah. Derek used to, so he would do something very similar.
Shout out to Derek.
Shout out to Derek Getza. I haven't seen him in forever. I
I
haven't heard from him.
hope he's doing well.
Me too, man. Last I heard, he was doing landscaping and training a lot of jiu-jitsu.
Really?
Which,
Good for
yeah,
him.
fuck yeah. I think, last I heard, I think he got a brown belt. He might even have a stripe on it now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Derek's a local fighter around here. So.
Or was a local fighter.
Yeah.
Now he's in the cities. But anyway, I believe what he would do is, 5-6 days out too. He would do the same water cut, but the night before weigh-ins. So he would, because again, they have 24 hours. I think in his federation he did. He would swim in the pool, hit the hot tub, sauna. And he would go back and forth between that for between 45 minutes and an hour and a half, depending upon how much he needed to cut. So while his body's trying to get rid of water because he did this water, front loading, his body is just sweating it out too.
Right.
So, I mean, he could drop, God, I want to say 12 pounds in a night or something.
That's
It was crazy.
Yeah, it's so nuts.
He had to get down to 155, and the night before, I looked at him, I'm like, time to water cut. And he's like, yeah. And he said, I have to cut a little extra because I had some pulled pork or something last night. And he's like, I should
salty.
Yeah. And I was like, so what's your weight at? 172. And I'm like, 17 pounds? He's like, I can do it. Fuck, dude. So he water cuts hard. So he probably spent an hour and a half doing it. He started though on like maybe an elliptical, hoodie, sweatpants, getting hot. Okay, hot as shit.
Raise that temperature.
Oh yeah. Then he would do the circuit of swimming, hot tub, and sauna. But then for 24 hours he didn't eat, and he maybe sipped 16 ounces of water.
That's so scary. Man.
Then he
That's
weighed in,
so bad
but then he pounded it. So he was really good at rehydrating.
The thing about rehydrating too is you can't just pound a bunch of water.
No,
because then it just sits in your stomach, and it's hard for your body to process a lot of water versus if you sip it.
Yeah.
Then everything that touches that floor of your stomach is going to get sucked up right away.
He did Pedialyte.
Yep.
And then he would add a little extra sugar to it so that his body was just it was in starvation mode, but it would just soak it all up. He had it down to a science. It was like, I can drink 8 ounces in the first half an hour, then I can do 12 for the next half, and then I can do 24 in an hour.
Yeah.
Like, he had it down. He knew exactly how his body would respond. But my 17 goddamn pounds.
That's nuts.
Right? And
that's not, I mean...
He would look skeletal.
Oh, yeah.
Like his face was sunken in and just...
think about how much water is being held in your cells, and you pull all of that out.
Yeah. And the more muscle you have, the more water you have.
Right.
Especially if you're like a power lifter who takes creatine or something like that, where you're purposefully putting water into the muscle. Man, you start cutting that water, it's gone.
Yeah.
I mean... Granted, most of our body is made up of water, but the more muscle you have, the more you can cut.
Right, because those muscle cells hold on to more water.
So much water.
Cells, yeah.
But again, so you cut all this water out fast, and unless you know how to put it back in,
then it doesn't.
Your performance sucks.
Right, and that's where you have to find that balance, right? I have to make this weight, but is it gonna take me down so much that it's not even worth fighting or doing whatever you're doing because your performance suffers so much.
If all of a sudden your 1 rep max drops by 15% because you're just so taxed.
And that's what I tell new athletes is like, for your first couple of meets, don't even worry about your weight.
Right.
Sign up for the weight class heavier than you are. Train in a calorie surplus. Get as strong as you can. Because you want to take advantage of those.
You want to feel good.
Yeah. So there's no point in you restricting calories or trying to cut down before your meet, because that could potentially hurt your performance. Yeah. And those first couple of meets, performance is important because your confidence is attached to that a lot of the time.
For sure.
So I always tell people, let's just get as strong as you can. Once you have a couple of meets under your belt, you start to get competitive, then we'll think about having you fit in a weight class. But for the first couple of meets, man, just lift, have fun, and I mean,
I say the same thing to all my weight loss athletes.
Yeah.
And they look at me like, are you
like
fucking
you're crazy.
kidding me? I want to lose 30 pounds, not gain 10.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what I tell them. I always talk about, okay, many ways to lose weight. You can cut your carbs, cut your calories, increase your activity, gain
Crash
some
diet.
muscle. Yeah,
You want to find the most sustainable one.
exactly. So most often, athletes are going to do all of them. Like they're going to cut their calories, their carbs.
All at the same time.
Yeah, they're going to try to do more cardio and more resistance training. But what I always tell my athletes is, okay, you just coming to the gym, you're already increasing your activity level. That's enough.
Check.
Right. Your calories, carbs, let's not worry about it right now. If we start kind of swapping out some junk food for some good food, we're already cutting a lot of carbs.
Right.
All right. Resistance training. If I could, I'd want to put 10 pounds of muscle on you first.
Yes.
Before we cut.
Yes,
Your
yes,
metabolism
yes.
is going to be better, but the best part about it, you're going to sleep better, you're going to have more insulin sensitivity, and your workouts are going to be that much better.
Right.
Because if you're 10 pounds of muscle stronger, all of a sudden instead of a 26-pound kettlebell, you're swinging a 52.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
Which, it's
yeah.
way more fun going to the gym when you're getting stronger.
Yes.
Than when you're feeling depleted. Oh, I don't want to be here. Your
Right.
energy levels are low because you're crash dieting.
Oh,
so
yeah.
much.
And everybody's goal is to look lean.
Right.
You can't be lean if you don't have muscle.
Right.
I mean,
Like, what do you think about the word toning?
Yeah,
I want to
right?
get toned.
right. All
What
you
is-
want to have
what
is
is
bone.
it? What is tone?
Right, exactly.
It's
They want to have
gaining
lines in their muscle.
or- right, yeah.
Mhm. But and unfortunately, too many people think more cardio, more, just kill, less food. I'm going to somehow get lean. And it's just, again, without muscle, you can't be lean.
Yeah.
So the athletes that listen to me and actually follow that, they find that once they've gained 5 pounds of muscle, losing 20 pounds of body fat goes so much quicker.
Right. Yeah. And it's more sustainable as well because one, they have a better relationship with the gym because
sure.
they're in there having more fun. Two, they have that added muscle mass, so their metabolism is going to be faster, and so it just makes more sense. Yeah, the results might not be as immediate as if you just slash your calories in half and do cardio for an hour and a half every day, but you're going to be in better shape a year from now than you would be doing slashing calories.
So if I have an athlete that, let's say I'm sitting down with somebody and I'm still trying to convince them that the route they want to take is incorrect, that they probably should hire me so I can help them.
Right.
I always say, okay, what's your plan? My plan is to do an hour of cardio every day. Okay, great. So then what I say is, so you're kind of training like a marathon runner. Yeah, because back when I used to run, I was so thin. And I'm like, okay, great. And I said, did you ever have abs when you were running? No, but I was thinner. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just Google search marathon runner shirt off.
Yep.
I'll show them that picture and say,
No one wants to look
right.
like that.
No, this guy, got 15th place in the Boston Marathon. He's one of the most elite runners you'll ever see. You want to look like that? Well, no, he doesn't have any muscle. Okay.
All right.
He also has a tire around his belly.
Yeah.
You're damn right he does, because if all you're doing is cardio, your body thinks to itself, all right, all this muscle requires a lot of oxygen. Fuck that. Let's get rid of that. Okay,
Yep.
let's get rid of all this muscle because you're going to
We'll
make me do
only
all this
keep the
cardio.
muscle that we need to do what he's doing.
Calves
or
and
what they're
hip
doing.
flexors.
Right. Yeah.
And, all right, so we used to only do a half an hour of cardio 2 years ago. Now we're doing 2.5 hours of cardio.
Yep.
Plus, he or she is slashing my carbs, my calories, my everything. So I'm going to get really good at storing fat.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get really efficient at running, so that back when running a mile would burn 300 calories, now it's burning 80.
Yep.
Now I'm not
Your
burning
body's a
as-
smart.
Oh, it's so
thing,
goddamn
man.
smart.
It's
So I'm going to hold weight better. I'm going to
Yep.
run more efficiently, so I'm burning less calories. I'm also going to blink slower, move slower,
Yeah,
and be
that's
less
the
likely
crazy
to do
part.
anything.
yeah.
I'm
Because
not
your
gonna go on a
body is
walk.
being so efficient with
Oh,
the
yeah.
lack of calories that you're giving it that it's like, hey, I have to allocate these an appropriate way. If I know they're gonna run every freaking day, then I'm gonna save it so we can do that.
Exactly.
And I mean,
You burn way more calories outside of the gym than you ever could inside of the gym.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
Yeah.
Now, granted, for a month you can really push it hard and burn more calories, but from a sustainable standpoint, again, if if you can sit in a rocking chair perfectly still, you probably didn't take in enough calories.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because your body has no extra energy to even rock a rocking
Yeah.
chair, which is what I'm doing right now.
Right, me too. I'm
Right.
always moving around.
Oh, for sure. And again, you'll burn more calories shaking your leg all day than you could in the gym.
Right.
Right? And again, if you are the type of person who would normally shake their leg and now you're not, obviously you're not taking in enough calories.
Mhm.
How are you going to get better?
Mhm.
And again, if running, you're going to naturally become more efficient, you either have to start running 50 miles a day or you have to run faster. You have to get there sooner, but you can't do that without muscle.
Right. Right. Yeah, and it's like the body's going to adapt. It's going to become very efficient at that, which is what getting in shape is. Honestly, is because your body. Because now, okay, you can run further and not be as winded, but unless you want to get to the point where you're running 6 hours a day, you have to change it up a little bit.
For sure. And again, 6 hours a day doesn't mean you're going to be lean. You're just going to be
No.
really good at
Yeah.
running.
Yeah, exactly.
Really good at running.
Exactly.
But what's really cool with resistance training is that if today you, let's say, are doing a deadlift of 150 pounds, next week you're doing 170, you just made a 20-pound PR gain, whatever. In order to do that, you either have to become more efficient or have more muscle. Both are good steps forward to being more lean.
Right. And being more toned.
Toned.
Oh my gosh.
So get your weights out. Only 2 cheat meals this month.
Yep.
Or 16 workouts. Don't be a wuss about it. It's November. Have your Thanksgiving, but only twice.
Yeah, what do you call it? No nonsense.
No nonsense November.
Get after it, people.
Right? Excuses are just a mask of weakness. Let's be strong.